Welcome to this walkthrough of the identity repository from Agntcy. The identity component helps you to generate, publish, and verify identities within the Internet of Agents. The main features include identity creation, where you can generate unique verifiable identities for agents and MCP servers, the ability to onboard existing identities from identity providers, and the verification of badges that authenticate agents and MCP servers. This video will walk you through getting started with the Node backend, which is a server that you can run locally for identity management, and the Issuer CLI, which helps you manage identities, vaults, and credentials via a command line interface. Then we will run through a demo scenario that is different from the one in the README, where we will instead use Duo as an identity provider. We will also issue a badge for the sample agent's data model, which is a file that uses OASF to describe the agent's capabilities, interactions, and metadata. In order to follow this walkthrough, you must first have Docker installed and running, as you can see in the bottom right of the screen. The first step is to download and install the Issuer CLI. We can use the curl command here to download an installation script from the repo that will do this for us. There are also binaries available for Windows and Mac OS, which you can find in the releases section of the repo. Once the script has run, you should see the Issuer CLI installed and available in your terminal. Step 2 is to clone this identity repo from GitHub and navigate into the identity directory. You can now start the Node backend with Docker, and the launch Node script shown here starts the Node backend for you along with a local database. And you should then see the containers running in Docker. Next, we can verify that the Issuer CLI is installed correctly by running the command identity-h, which should return a list of available commands. Now that we have the Node backend and Issuer CLI installed, we can run the demo scenario. This will take us through the process of registering as an issuer, generating metadata for an agent, issuing and publishing a badge for the agent's OASF data model, and finally verifying the badge. In order to get started, you will need to also have the Llama CLI installed, and an account with Duo, since we will be using Duo as our identity provider in this demo. The first step is to run the Llama 3.2 model, which is used by the demo agent. In a separate terminal, you can use the command llama run llama 3.2 to start and serve the model in the background. Then, in your original terminal and from the root of the repo, navigate to the samples directory and run the command docker compose up-d in order to deploy the sample currency exchange agent and MCP server. After running the commands, you should now also see these containers running in Docker. Next, we need to start using the Issuer CLI to create a local vault and generate cryptographic keys using the commands shown here. Once done, we can use the Issuer CLI to register as an issuer with the Node backend. To do this, we need to create an application in Duo. From the Applications screen in the Duo admin panel, first click the button Add Application. Then search for the application type, OAuth 2 Client Credentials, and click Add. You can then give the application a name, such as Identity Issuer, and scroll down to add a custom scope, as this is a mandatory field. Finally, you can click Save to create the application. Once the application is created, you should see the client ID and secret displayed on the application page. With the Duo OAuth 2 Client Credential application now set up, we can run the Issuer Register command without the flags. This will prompt us for the client ID and secret that we just created in Duo, as well as the Issuer URL and an organization name. After entering these details, the command will run and return a success message, along with where you can now find the issuer well-known JWKS. If you copy that URL and paste it into your browser, you should see the issuer's public keys in JSON format. Now that we have registered as an issuer, we can generate metadata for the sample agent. To do this, we need to create a second application within Duo, which we can do using the same steps as before. You can then run the command to generate the metadata without the flags, and this will again prompt you for the second application's client ID and secret, as well as its issuer URL. After entering these details, the command will run and return a success message with the identity that we will use to issue the badge. Next, we can issue a badge for the agent's OASF data model using the command shown here. If we run the command without any flags, it will show us the available commands for the different types of badges that we can issue. In this case, we will use the OASF command and provide the path to the sample agent's OASF data model file using the -o flag. This will issue a badge locally for the agent and return a success message with the badge ID. You can then publish the badge to the node backend using the command shown here, which will return a success message along with the well-known URL for the metadata identity that the badge was issued for. This well-known URL can be used to show all the badges that have been issued and published for the agent. If we navigate to the well-known URL in our browser, we can see the list of badges that have been issued and published for the agent. You can also copy the JWT value shown and paste it into an online JWT debugger to see the decoded contents of the badge. When running the publish command, we also received an example curl command that can be used to download the badges from the node backend so that we can verify them locally in the next step. Once we download the badges, we can quickly cat the file to see the contents of the badge. We can then verify the badge using the verify command shown here, which loops over all the badges in the file and verifies them against the issuer's public keys. If the verification is successful, you should see a success message for each badge. That concludes this walkthrough of the identity repository from Agntcy. We have covered how to get started with the node backend and issuer CLI, and how to issue and verify badges for agents using their OASF data model. Thanks for watching, and if you would like more information, then please refer to the documentation and specs that are available in the repo.